Imagine being a 17-year-old high school student and at the same time a world kickboxing champion. With the looks of a K-pop star, the power of prime Conor McGregor, and the attitude of the Diaz brothers. While you're picturing it, Ren Hiramoto is living that life right now. A country that has always been associated with respect and tradition gave birth to the most reckless and audacious fighter. His victories bring women to tears and drive men to nervous breakdowns. Even UFC legend Conor McGregor wanted to meet this unique character. But Hiramoto wasn't always this bold. As a child, he was bullied so badly that he wouldn't even go outside. Because of this, his father enrolled him in kickboxing. After gaining skills, Ren began to hunt down each of his bullies one by one and beat them until they lost consciousness. Over time, however, he realized that tormenting those poor souls would only cost him more in the long run. So now, he beats people in kickboxing,
well, he's already busted up.
boxing, and MMA. In his free time, he promotes his own clothing line. But the question arises, where exactly did such a strange character come from, and how did he emerge? Let's start from the very beginning. Ren Hiramoto was born on June 27, 1998, in Adachi Ward, Tokyo. His mother was a fan of the punk rock band The Blue Hearts, and his father had a passion for martial arts. Their interests would go on to shape his personality, but during his childhood, in the first grade, Hiramoto experienced severe bullying, largely due to his contrarian nature. If everyone liked something, he would go against it, and over time this led to isolation and group bullying. He gradually stopped going outside and became withdrawn. Even when he tried to fight back, he always lost. Still, he didn't want to feel defeated or let his parents find out. Hiramoto once said that classmates are simply people who happen to live in the same area. They're grouped together. People call them friends if they hang out or talk, but he never really found anyone interesting and always felt like an outsider. When he was in 4th grade, his father told him that a kickboxing gym had opened nearby and practically forced him to go. That was his first exposure to martial arts. The first time he put on gloves and hit the heavy bag, he found it incredibly fun. Since he had no friends at school, he became completely absorbed in training. His father, who had once aspired to be a professional boxer, rigorously taught him punching techniques. Just a week after joining, he was made to spar with a boy who had experience in karate. Hiramoto was completely outclassed and beaten, but that humiliation fueled his determination. While the other boy trained for 2 hours, Hiramoto trained for 5. He improved rapidly, driven by obsession. Within a year, he surpassed that boy in skill and strength. Through this, he discovered the value of hard work and the satisfaction of seeing effort turn into results. A year and a half into his training, he began standing out. In 5th grade, he entered an amateur junior one-day tournament and won decisively, defeating kids who had trained for years. That victory made him think, maybe I'm a genius. And from that point, he set his sights on becoming a professional champion. Even the kids who once bullied him began treating him differently, but Hiramoto held a grudge. He pretended to get along with them, but after school, he confronted each one and beat them one by one. He said he didn't go far enough to seriously injure them, but he made them cry. And getting revenge felt really good. That's when he realized, if you work hard, you can become anything. But still, he had no real friends. In 5th grade, Tenshin Nasukawa and Asukawa joined the gym. They quickly became close. He sparred with Tenshin, full contact without headgear, and in their free time, they played with Beyblades at the river or at each other's homes with their gym bags still on. Around the time he finished elementary school, K1 stopped airing on TV. Entering junior high, he grew physically and could no longer compete in youth weight classes, so he fought adults. At 12, he won the National Under-15 Junior Boxing Tournament. He even considered going to the Tokyo Olympics as an amateur boxer. But then, K1 and K1 Koshien made a comeback, and he shifted his focus. He enrolled in a correspondence high school, and in 2014 entered K1 Koshien. He defeated notable fighters like Teo Asahisa and Yuto Shinohara, and beat Ten Masano in the final to win the championship. He was so happy, he wore the championship belt home on the train. That same year, his grandmother passed away and the family was grieving, but his victory lifted everyone's spirits. 2 months later, he turned pro, leaving amateur kickboxing with 100 fights and 95 wins. Ren had his first professional fight in the 65 kg weight class. That's 145 pounds. His opponent was Yuki Ishikawa. Still underage and wearing red and white shorts, Ren showed no nerves in his pro debut. From the opening seconds, he demonstrated the power of his right straight. Hiramoto clearly tried to catch his opponent with a left hook but kept landing on the guard. The opponent tried to hide in a clinch from the flurry of strikes, but was beaten up even there. As they broke from the clinch, Ren switched tactics and began landing heavy combinations. Seeing his opponent stagger, Hiramoto pounced like a predator. The referee began a standing count due to the unanswered blows. The opponent managed to recover, but maybe he shouldn't have. Ren was ready to turn off his lights and did exactly that with a powerful left hook. At his first pro fight, he fought on the main K1 card and won by KO with a left hook in the first round. He said the fight purse was only 50,000 yen, about $300. 3 months later, Ren Hiramoto returned to the ring. He was so eager to stay active that he continued fighting in the same red and white shorts from his previous match. His opponent was Yuki Izuka, who immediately opened with low kicks. But Ren used a different strategy this time, focusing on kicks instead of punches. Hiramoto quickly picked up on his opponent's timing and countered a body kick with a combination, but the opponent fired back with his own combo. Ren stopped the opponent's pressure with a knee to the body, but the opponent didn't take the hint and kept charging forward, so Hiramoto punished him and scored a knockdown. The opponent got up and kept coming and was brutally knocked out. Ren Hiramoto secured his second consecutive first-round knockout, but he had no intention of slowing down. 2 months later, Ren returned to the ring to face Yohei Noguchi. Hiramoto immediately stunned his opponent with a high kick in the opening seconds, then followed up with a knockdown. As soon as Noguchi got back to his feet, Ren began unloading kicks on him, then added punching combinations. Hiramoto landed a solid combo that visibly shook his opponent. Seeing this, Ren went all out, trying to finish the fight. The volume and accuracy of his strikes were so intense that the referee gave a standing count. Although Noguchi managed to recover, Ren wasn't planning on waiting. He continued his assault. The opponent was flying around the ring, barely staying on his feet. Even at the end of the round, Hiramoto kept up the pressure, landing shots with the intention of ending his third career fight with a third straight first-round knockout. But Noguchi survived into round 2, which Ren opened with a kick and aggressive combinations. Noguchi tried to counter Ren's low kick, but Hiramoto was ready and responded with a combination, a powerful boxing combo from Hiramoto. Ren landed a combination, but his opponent immediately responded with the same. It looked like Noguchi had weathered the storm and was about to take over, but Hiramoto knocked him down again. The opponent got back up and both fighters exchanged heavy blows near the end of the round. The fight reached round 3, but Ren kept beating his opponent just like in the first. Strong jabs from Hiramoto. Ren was putting everything into every punch and kick, but Noguchi just refused to go down. At the end of the round, Hiramoto tried to raise the pace and finish him, but Noguchi absorbed everything and stayed standing. In the end, it was a masterclass. Multiple knockdowns, total domination, but the opponent managed to survive until the final bell. It was Ren's first win by decision, but still an incredibly exciting performance, one that earned him a main event slot in his next fight. On September 22, 2015, Ren faced Minoru Kimura, a fighter whom MMA legend Wanderlei Silva called his protégé. In true Wanderlei fashion, Minoru tried to play mental games before the fight, saying, "If you last one round, I'll give you $1,000,000. What seemed like a joke turned out to be a psychological tactic. Minoru was trying to bring Ren back to his days of being bullied at school. But this time, the bully wasn't just some punk. He was a powerful young prospect, just like Hiramoto. From the very first second, it was clear the mind games had worked. The usually respectful Ren didn't touch gloves, a sign that he had taken the bait. He fought emotionally, not strategically. Minoru immediately began pressing forward, forcing Ren to the ropes with his punches. Kimura kept trying to trap Ren on the ropes while Ren attempted to counter. Kimura played to the crowd with his stance, then landed a clean hook on Ren. But Hiramoto didn't give in. He responded to the pressure. Though during the exchange, it was clear he was rocked, yet he stayed on his feet.
Rock the audience there too. Okay.
Minoru's left hook kept finding Ren's head like it lived there. You could see the mental toll on Ren's face, overwhelmed by pressure. He didn't react to Kimura's heavy combo.
So this is going to end in a lesson for Hiramoto.
Suddenly, Hiramoto exploded with a counter combination that forced Minoru to clinch. Ren clearly lost the first round, but his late surge hinted that he might take control in the second. Ren tried to pressure, but Minoru immediately stopped him with a counter and mocked him, reminding Ren of the psychological war, which clearly paid off.
Oi.
Look at that!
Hiramoto tried to strike back, but Kimura countered and dropped him with a combination.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
There you go. Well, that's not a down. That's a slip. That's
Okay.
a slip. But he took it hard.
Ren quickly got back up and continued the fight. Sensing blood, Kimura went in for the kill. Ren was knocked down again.
Wow. Oh, man.
Watch it, watch it, watch it.
There
Okay.
you go. Oh.
But once more he stood up. In round 3, Ren managed to shift the momentum slightly in his favor, but it was too late. For the first time in his career, Ren Hiramoto lost by decision. The mental games had worked perfectly. After the fight, the naive Ren said, "I lasted 3 rounds, so give me 3,000,000 yen." To which Kimura laughed and replied it was just a joke. Years later, Ren admitted that answer deeply disappointed him and made him think, adults really are liars. Still, despite the loss, this fight earned him more money than any of his previous wins. His purse for that match was 100,000 yen, about $700. Despite the loss, Ren decided to stay active and returned to the ring 2 months later against veteran Masaru Glunder. This time, Hiramoto started the fight very cautiously, only occasionally throwing precise combinations. Gradually, he added high kicks to his offense. However, this kick seemed to energize his opponent, who responded with long combinations.
グランダーパンチ結構伸びてくるんで、ちょっと平本選手注意した方がいいですよね。今どうですか？少し面食らってるようなところは。今ちょっと一発いいのもらいました。
Near the end of the round, Masaru tried to finish the first 3 minutes spectacularly, but when he threw a jumping knee, Ren quickly countered. In the second round, Hiramoto worked more on the body, then delivered an incredibly powerful strike to the head that knocked the opponent's mouthguard out.
ストレートがよくが強い。そしていざ。
The first 2 rounds were fairly calm, but from the first second of the third round, both fighters engaged in a brutal exchange.
回って攻撃は平本。打ち合い出てきた。やはりパンチでということなのか平本です。関根さん完全に火をつけましたね。
The opponent rushed to pressure Ren, but he quickly countered and moved off the line of fire, causing Masaru to lose balance and slip. The fight ended with a very spectacular exchange. The fight seemed close, but 17-year-old Ren Hiramoto most likely won. However, it turned out differently. One judge scored a draw, while two others awarded the victory to the opponent. The second consecutive loss broke the young fighter's heart. At just 17, Ren was fighting top-level fighters and sharing his thoughts in a personal blog. After this loss, he wrote, "In fights and in life, I'm really weak. I'm afraid to face myself. Every decision takes courage. Sometimes to gain something, you have to let go of something important. I just hope that one day I can truly value what matters most." Around this time, he developed autonomic nervous system issues due to match stress. Despite the stress and two consecutive losses, Ren did not slow down and returned to the ring in the very first month of 2016 against Yoshiki Harada. This time, however, he fought not at 145 pounds, but at 135 pounds. Ren started the fight with a fast, sharp jab, then added a combination, one of the strikes landing low between Yoshiki's legs. After the fight resumed, Hiramoto anticipated his opponent's low kicks and countered them with boxing combinations. In a tough exchange, Ren knocked his opponent down. But the referee strangely told them to continue, and Hiramoto kept beating him. The opponent continued trying to land low kicks, which Hiramoto countered with combinations, one of which knocked him down. Yoshiki managed to continue fighting, and Ren decided to pick up where they left off. A powerful strike followed by a taunt from usually respectful Hiramoto. The opponent was almost finished, but the round ended. At the start of the second round, the opponent tried to rush at Ren head first and paid for it. Frustrated, Yoshiki threw another low kick, which Ren countered with a hard strike that sent him to the canvas. The opponent got back up, but was pushed behind the ropes. In his new weight class, Ren showed he retained his power and speed, which led him to victory and advanced him to the next round at 63 kilograms, where he was set to face Taito. The fight took place on March 20th, 2016, against Taito. Ren immediately pressured with jabs and low kicks. Ren immediately shook his opponent, then began working with varied combinations. A quick combination from Hiramoto immediately stunned the opponent. Ren pressed his opponent with combinations, but Taito responded with a knee. However, this didn't stop Hiramoto, who kept attacking, then decided to dance briefly before continuing the offense. Ren finished the round with a jumping knee just as the bell rang. The second round started with an exchange. After a couple of exchanges, Ren scored a knockdown. The opponent got up, but Hiramoto immediately began finishing him off. After such a bright second round, Ren slowed in the third, but towards the end, he managed to send the opponent to the canvas once more. Hiramoto confidently won by judges' decision, advancing to the tournament final. In the final, Ren faced Daiso Sasaki for the 135-pound championship. The fight took place in June 2016. In this fight, Ren first showed the hairstyle he would be associated with in the future, but at this time, it was just a test run. He started immediately with 5 combinations of jabs and low kicks.
平本蓮です。髪の毛を金髪に染め上げてまいりました。ボディ打ち左を打って回るのが佐々木です。さあ中村さん、もうゾクゾクしますね。
そうですね。
ワンツー。
平本選手が本当に自信を持ってリングに上がっても、とにかくね、試合見ててくださいと。
Ren used many jabs, showing progress in his boxing technique. The opponent finally found a way to respond to Hiramoto's attacks. However, Ren decided not to slow down and started initiating exchanges himself.
本当ね、このトーナメントで意地でも本当にベルト取るっていうのを執念という言葉を使ってましたけど、それがね、結果になってきてると思います。
Hiramoto landed precise strikes that stunned his opponent and rushed to finish him off, but the opponent quickly used a high guard and pressed forward. A spectacular exchange from both fighters. In the final seconds, Ren unloaded a machine gun-like flurry to his opponent's face and set up a sweep. Hiramoto kept the pace from the first round in the second, a powerful hook to the body and an attempt to finish the opponent with a combination. But he threw so many strikes he got winded himself. The opponent tried something strange, causing both fighters to grab each other and fall to the canvas. It was noticeable that something happened to Ren's facial bone. Despite this, after the fight resumed, Hiramoto maintained a wild pace, while the opponent couldn't land a single hit on him. Ren decided to break the opponent's high guard with fast combinations of straight punches and a high kick. The opponent broke out of the pressure and began attacking Hiramoto, and when both clinched, Daiso Sasaki landed a couple of illegal strikes. During the clinch, both fighters exchanged heavy blows, but Ren won the exchange thanks to his speed, causing the opponent to sweep him. In the last minute of the second round, both fighters went all out, delivering incredible exchanges. Gradually, it became noticeable that young Ren was starting to tire and his strikes became more sluggish. Despite this, he started the third round very actively. The opponent tried to respond with powerful single counterattacks, but Hiramoto's pace was too high. Ren started to get tired and began taking hits from Sasaki. Hiramoto tried to stop the opponent's pressure but took a couple of hits. That was the narrative for the end of the fight. Ren clearly lost the third round, but the first and second were his. However, one judge scored it a draw, and 2 judges gave the victory to Daiso Sasaki, who cried with joy after winning the tournament. Many thought Ren won, but either way, for such a young fighter, he showed himself well. Most importantly, half the comments were about how much people liked Hiramoto's new hairstyle. On February 25, 2017, Ren gave up his signature hairstyle, but still competed in the K1 World GP inaugural lightweight championship tournament. Ren moved up to the previous weight class of 145 pounds, where he faced Bryce Del Val. The opponent started the fight immediately with a teep kick. Strong 1-2 combination from Ren, another strong 1-2 from Hiramoto. The opponent throws a combination of kicks, but Ren responds with a straight punch, back fist and kick from the opponent, but everything misses. Delval rushes at Ren with a kick, but Hiramoto dodges and counters. The opponent tries to close distance with a push kick, but Ren immediately catches it with a jab and keeps jabbing. Hiramoto unloads a huge amount of low kicks on his opponent to make him stop throwing so many kicks. Then the first serious exchanges in the fight begin.
You can land a big shot. Oh, wow.
The opponent tried to finish the round with a knee, but ended up eating a combination of strikes and went to rest. The entire second round followed a similar pattern. The opponent chased Ren with kicks, while Ren met him with counter combinations. By the third round, the opponent was noticeably tired, and Ren started pressuring him and firing a variety of combinations.
More definitive win with the judges, so we need some big shots here.
Nice left knee.
Yeah.
Delval fighting off the back foot a little bit there, somewhat effectively, but getting stuck on the ropes, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Body combination from Hiramoto and beating him up against the ropes and in the clinch. In the last 10 seconds, Ren again targeted the opponent's body and won by judges' decision. Not the most spectacular fight in Hiramoto's career, but a confident victory and advancement to the tournament semifinals. It's worth noting that this was a one-day tournament, meaning just a couple hours later, Hiramoto had to return to the ring to face the incredibly experienced Kongnapa Wirasakrek in the semifinals. The fight started very spectacularly. The fighters immediately engaged in a tough exchange that led to the first knockdown.
I'm right back at it. Getting that front leg. Ooh, okay.
You know what Hiramoto Ren has got to realize, and that's why he's doing this, he's got to just step in to that kick in through the kicking ring.
Oh, every day.
The opponent quickly got back up and pressed forward, but Ren was unstoppable. After a prolonged mutual exchange, he finished his opponent.
Ever have right now.
And for everybody watching, remember that Ren had a fight before this one, and his stamina is still top notch.
Wow. What a breakaway.
This knockout victory sent him to another final where he awaited the Chinese fighter Wei Rui. Just a couple hours later, the tournament final took place, where Ren faced one of the best kickboxers of today, Wei Rui. Both fighters exchange kicks. Wei Rui pressures Hiramoto. Ren tries to counterattack, but the opponent hits harder.
Less than a minute here in the first round. Both fighters evenly matched. Kind of similar approach.
Ren attacks with kicks, but the opponent trips him. The fighters finish the round with a prolonged, spectacular exchange.
Rui Wei just moving just a little bit more, taking a few more angles, whereas Hiramoto Ren will let a few things spank off his guard in order to return the punch.
Yeah. You have it.
Ooh. Wow, nice left hand
man.
there.
Wow.
Yeah, that got his attention, Hiramoto's attention for sure.
Hiramoto attacks with kicks and focuses on low kicks, but Wei Rui finishes the exchange with his combination.
Yeah, see, he's doing a lot of that counter work. See, Hiramoto missed the low, kind of,
The Chinese fighter presses forward, but Ren doesn't give up ground. Hiramoto managed to push the opponent to the ropes and fired shots.
It was so fast, Hiramoto didn't really have much time to react.
Ren throws a kick, but gets caught by the opponent's sweep.
Exactly, he has not, he's made.
This energizes the opponent, who starts throwing spinning techniques. Both fighters land precise strikes in the exchange. Ren starts landing a large number of powerful low kicks. Whatever Wei Rui throws, Hiramoto answers with a bunch of low kicks.
Yeah, he's chopping the legs. Great idea.
Excellent idea.
He really seems to find what works early on and just stick with it.
There you have it.
Hiramoto Ren is setting up. Upsetting the rhythm of the...
Wei Rui begins the last round very aggressively. The fighters begin exchanging low kicks. Ren chooses a strange tactic, responding to all of the opponent's powerful combinations with just low kicks.
So busy.
Yeah, see now, I think Ren has found the weakness of Rui Wei, man, but it might be too little too late, who knows?
Hiramoto lands a combination, but in return takes a full menu of attacks from Wei Rui.
Solid. Ooh. And it's so hard to hang in here when you're getting hit, but he's doing what he needs to do. He's not backing up. If anything, he needs to keep turning up the pressure with those low kicks.
You can win by low kicks.
The opponent overcommits to the attack and Ren finally lands a powerful counter-strike. The Chinese fighter steps up his game and attacks all parts of Hiramoto's body with renewed enthusiasm.
It's just back and forth.
These guys, man.
Oh, digging deep. The front
Ooh,
kick upsetting the
front kick.
rhythm. Great.
Smart.
Great front kicks there.
There
And
you
he's
go.
sticking with it. With the body.
Oh, nice, man. That's not like in, Lee hands end up before the knee.
The last few seconds were extremely dynamic, but it's clear that for Ren at this stage in his career, this opponent was too much. The first 2 rounds were competitive, but the third round was definitely for the Chinese fighter. Considering Ren was only 18 years old, he had already achieved a lot in the sport, but 2 final losses affected him mentally. In June 2017, he gave motivational lectures at 5 junior high schools, sharing the importance of dreams. He said he tried to speak from a student's perspective, hoping his message would resonate. In June 2017, Ren met Chechen kickboxer Umar Paskayev. This was the first fight in a long time where Hiramoto did not compete in a tournament but fought a regular match. For this fight, Hiramoto approached differently. While in recent fights he often worked as the second fighter and moved a lot, in this fight he forced the pace and pressed the opponent. Ren caught his opponent with a counter during a low kick, then landed a couple more strikes that stunned him. A strong straight again rocked Umar, who started running around the ring. Ren caught his opponent with a hook to the body and unloaded a machine gun-like flurry.
Great job of going to the body.
Nice body shots, man. Wow.
Hiramoto pushed the opponent with a kick to the ropes and continued beating him with punches.
Hiramoto is looking sharp
Oh,
as
man.
can be right now.
He is.
The Chechen landed a good overhand, but Hiramoto quickly counterattacked. The Japanese pushed the opponent with kicks to the corner and beat him up. The opponent tried to surprise Ren with spinning strikes, but Hiramoto did not let up his pressure. Near the end of the second round, the Japanese unloaded all the strikes he knew on the opponent's body, which suddenly made him recall wrestling moves. The third round went like the previous 2. Ren pursued and beat his opponent while he tried to avoid exchanges. Because of this fight pattern, Hiramoto confidently won by judges' decision. At 18 years old and with spectacular wins, Ren was gradually becoming a star, which is why in July he appeared on Abema TV's reality show Minatsu no Ukabi-kun wa Damisore Nai and started dating Aina Nakano. According to Aina, her happiest moment was catching a cold and Hiramoto surprising her with homemade rice porridge. Even during fights, he always apologized first. He was a great boyfriend. On November 23, 2017, Ren Hiramoto finally got the chance to avenge his controversial loss to Daiso Sasaki. He had the opportunity to prove the judges were wrong, but to do so, Hiramoto needed to defeat Daiso even more convincingly. The tension was palpable even at the face-off, where neither fighter could land a glove touch on the other. The fighters start the fight with mutual exchanges. Ren quickly stuns his opponent with an overhand, an incredibly fast combination from Hiramoto. The fighters exchange kicks, but the opponent decides to add a couple of punches. Ren lands incredibly powerful jabs, a strong hook to the body from Ren, followed by a combination to the head. In the second round, Hiramoto immediately begins to press the opponent against the ropes.
Hiramoto, if anything, upping the pressure a little.
Yeah. Nice block there. He's just staying right in the pocket.
The Japanese fighter seems to enter a flow state, firing at the opponent with ease. A powerful straight stuns the opponent, and Hiramoto rushes to finish him.
For the days there,
Yes.
big points for Hiramoto.
Ooh, man.
Phased
Yes,
it.
he did. Daiso got dazed, man, no doubt.
Daiso Sasaki does not fall and tries to counterattack, but the initiative remains with Ren. Ren works with jabs, but Sasaki manages to land his own combinations in response. Hiramoto answers with jabs and overhands. Daiso tries to use the jab, but Hiramoto quickly cools his momentum with a couple of strong single strikes. A strong exchange from both fighters lasts almost until the end of the round.
Eating a little too much
Yeah,
from
that uppercut.
Sasaki here now.
Yeah, he's eating uppercut.
Taking too many shots.
The points aside, those will disorient you.
Oh, yeah. Wow. 3 uppercuts, 4 uppercuts there.
Losing some points there.
Great series from Sasaki.
Sasaki comes out for the third round extremely fired up, but Ren's response is quick. In the third round, Ren is tired as he was in the first fight, which causes him to start taking hits, but he still answers with single strikes.
45 seconds to go. Ooh. Real razor thin, so close in this round still.
Yeah,
Both fighters refuse to back down and exchange heavy blows. However, in the end, Ren wins the exchange, which helps him take the third round, a round he was clearly losing before.
Ooh. Oh! The pressure from Sasaki.
Daiso gets up, but Hiramoto doesn't let him go, even though there are only 10 seconds left in the fight. Ren manages to send his opponent to the canvas once again.
big shots, but Ren, oh, wow. What a win. I'm calling it.
Fabulous.
I'm calling it. What a win.
Ren Hiramoto confidently won the first 2 rounds, and in the third, he made a comeback with 2 knockdowns, winning every round of this fight. The judges agreed and gave the correct verdict, awarding the victory to Ren Hiramoto. This was Ren's last fight of 2017, and essentially the last fight of the old Ren. From 2018, he began his transformation from a modest, calm fighter into the main bad boy of martial arts. In 2018, Hiramoto faced the veteran Kyu Wirasakrek. Starting from this fight, Ren's image began to change drastically, and very soon he became the main bad boy of all Japan and MMA. Ren started the fight with a high kick, after which a mutual exchange began. Hiramoto stuns his opponent on counterattacks. Ren finished the round by beating the opponent against the ropes, and after the bell rang, he raised his hand and went to his corner.
Let him go here. He must smell some blood. He must feel like he's got Hiramoto maybe a little bit hurt.
Yeah.
Great composure from the young fighter. Yeah.
The second round was dominated by Ren, who knocked out his opponent cold during an exchange.
Ooh, big.
Oh! And yep, there you go. He caught him. Unbelievable. Wow. You don't see Hiramoto lose.
The crowd is going wild.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, huge upset in the works here, and it's done.
Whoa.
It's the KO win.
Why?
After this victory, he considered retiring, but the thrill reignited his passion. He believed MMA was the true path to becoming the world's strongest. No one in Japanese kickboxing had successfully transitioned to MMA, so he wanted to be the first. In late 2018, he stopped fighting in K1 and waited out his contract. In 2019, his life changed dramatically. On August 15th, he broke up with Reina Nakano. In October, he launched a streetwear brand and opened a bar called Kira Bar in his hometown. On November 1st, 2019, his K1 contract expired. Such a number of changes and new ventures greatly affected Ren's character and appearance. In December, he signed with Risen and fought Takehiro Ashida under kickboxing rules at Bellator Japan. It was immediately noticeable that his already iconic hair color was now complemented by a new tattoo on his chest. Ren's transformation into a wild, bad boy fighter continued. He greeted the audience in the stance of Luffy from the anime One Piece. Hiramoto started the fight by rushing in with a high kick and a combination that made the opponent run away stumbling. It became clear that Ren's style fits better in cages than rings. There, he can pressure and beat his opponent without worrying about him falling out of the ropes. One left hook was enough to knock the opponent down. Despite the damage and cuts, the opponent continued fighting, but not for long. The second knockdown came quickly. It might seem that Ren doesn't hit much, but Takehiro's entire face was destroyed with cuts and bruises. A couple more strikes, and the opponent couldn't get up. On such a bright note, Ren ended his kickboxing career and decided to focus on MMA. Despite the victory, don't forget about Hiramoto's young age. In spring 2020, despite repeating grades 6 times, he finally graduated high school. Hard to believe he was still a student. Around April 2020, he began feuding online with Mikuru Asakura. He also trash-talked fighters like Kazuhiro Kiyohara, Ryo Fukama, and Daiki Takeshi, creating buzz. His past achievements and style attracted renewed attention, and Ren Hiramoto's value soared. At just 22 years old, on December 31, 2020, at Rizin 26, he made his MMA debut against Joji Hagiwara. Trash talk started even before the match. This rivalry and fight build-up made Ren Hiramoto who we know today. Ren started the fight expecting a takedown from his opponent, who anticipated Ren's mindset. So he slipped in an overhand and then took Ren down. Ren managed to block it. While Ren was throwing a low kick, the opponent attempted an Imanari roll. Hiramoto decided to defend with strikes, but over time, attacking instead of defending caused him to end up on his back. Ren finally gets back on his feet, but not for long. The opponent locked him with a tight grip and managed to take him down again. But Hiramoto didn't give up. He got back up again. He immediately tried to strike instead of breaking the opponent's grip, which led to another takedown. Ren got on top, landed a few strikes, and returned to his feet. But again, instead of stopping leg attacks, he kept throwing strikes and got taken down again. That's how the first round ended. In the second round, Ren immediately lands a left hook on his opponent. A powerful hook from Hiramoto to the opponent's body. The opponent quickly finds a way into the clinch and starts to pressure Ren. Hagiwara executes a sweep and takes a takedown. He eventually climbs into mount and starts landing strikes. Ren had a chance to avoid this position, but his corner threw in the towel, stopping the fight. After the fight, Hagiwara said, "Thanks for all the hype. I'm taking it from here." Back in the locker room, Hiramoto was devastated. He thought, "I really messed up," but he used it as fuel. He realized his mindset was flawed and vowed to improve. Even the pride he carried from K1 was broken. He later said, "I broke myself down and I kind of liked it." He went to train in the US at Rufusport. His striking was praised. He even cornered Sergio Pettis during his Bellator title win over Kyoji Horiguchi, helping devise the winning strategy. Ren Hiramoto spent 2 years training in MMA and working on himself as a person. On March 6, 2022, at Rizin Landmark 2, he faced Chihiro Suzuki. In this fight, he dropped weight from 150 pounds to 145. Ren immediately started the fight very aggressively. He landed multiple strikes on his opponent and pressed forward, defended a takedown attempt, and initiated a clinch himself. The opponent tried to push forward, but Hiramoto stunned him. During exchanges, Ren felt so confident that he momentarily forgot MMA includes grappling and got taken down by a beautiful throw. Hiramoto returned to his feet but stayed in the clinch, which cost him another throw. However, he adjusted mid-air and ended up on top of his opponent, allowing him to return to standing and start trading strikes again. After the referee separated the fighters from the clinch, Hiramoto tried to surprise by initiating the clinch himself. But it was a mistake, as both fighters just stood there doing nothing. Ren stunned his opponent, but as he tried to finish him off, the first round ended. The excitement of the fight ended in the first round. In the second and third rounds, the opponent just initiated clinches and stood waiting for the fight to end. Because of this, the judges scored the fight 1-2 in favor of Chihiro Suzuki. Ren lost his second MMA fight, but showed progress in takedown defense. However, he didn't account for standing idle in the clinch. After the fight, Hiramoto said, "I lost, but I didn't really lose." The comment stirred critics and energized fans. It's understandable since essentially he lost because the opponent didn't want to fight. Despite a 0-2 MMA record on July 2, 2022 at Rizin 36, Ren took the main event spot after Kai Asakura withdrew. He fought Hiroaki Suzuki, a former successful kickboxer who, like Ren, transitioned to MMA. Surprisingly, Ren's first MMA victory is nowhere to be found online. Only photos exist. However, it's known that after the fight he said, "MMA isn't easy, Suzuki-kun. You should probably start over in the amateur leagues. Tenjin's era is over. The Asakura brothers' era is over. It's Ren Hiramoto's era now. Thank you." Unexpectedly, after his first MMA win, Ren decided to try boxing against Genji Umeno, a kickboxer with 52 wins and undefeated in MMA. Even during the stare-down, the fight escalated crazily as the fighters' teams began provoking each other. Then Ren's corner showed the middle finger to the opponent and his team. The situation got so strange that even Ren had to calm down his own team. Ren, with no respect and hands down, walked straight at his opponent and landed a clean shot. Hiramoto casually landed strikes on his opponent and then taunted him. Despite Ren's seemingly light punches, the opponent already had a cut and half his face was red. In all exchanges, Ren came out the winner. Hiramoto landed a solid 1-2 combination, followed by a hook and another hook that clearly stunned the opponent. Ren casually walked toward the opponent and knocked him out cold. The knockout was so brutal that Ren went over to check if his opponent was alive. After a successful boxing debut, Ren decided to return to MMA and continue his winning streak. In November 2022, Ren faced Satoshi Yamasu under MMA rules, an experienced fighter and former champion with a winning streak. Before the fight, Ren showed his mindset. He first bowed respectfully to his opponent and then gave him the middle finger. That's Ren Hiramoto in a nutshell. At the start, the opponent immediately landed a low kick and dropped Ren, but he quickly got up and as he returned, landed a strike that sent the opponent down. Ren didn't rush to the ground, but waited for the opponent to get up. The opponent tried another low kick, but Ren sent him down again. This time Ren tried to finish on the ground, but the opponent quickly caught his leg for a leg lock. Ren quickly realized it was dangerous, landed an elbow, and got back to his feet. The opponent hesitated to return to standing, so Ren showed the middle finger and bowed. The opponent reacted with humor and returned to standing. The opponent tried a leg takedown, but Ren immediately noticed and landed a 1-2, pushing the opponent back, stunning him again, and almost finishing with a soccer kick. Satoshi Yamasu charged at Ren but was immediately countered and sent down. I remind you, Satoshi's nickname is the Dominator. While the opponent was getting up, Ren imitated Rock Lee from Naruto. The opponent tried another takedown, but Ren showed good defense, blocked it, and went for a counter finish. The round ended there. The second round was similar to the first. The opponent tried takedowns in fear but got hit in the head and then punished on the ground by Ren. Years of training at Rufusport paid off for Hiramoto. It looked like Ren was about to finish the opponent, but Satoshi, like a professional cockroach, refused to die and survived with all his strength. The third round repeated the previous two. Every hit from Hiramoto sent the opponent down. By the end, the opponent's face was completely broken, bloody, and cut. Ren continued his MMA journey now with a second consecutive victory. Next on Ren Hiramoto's path was Yutaka Saito, with a solid 20-6 record. You already noticed Ren's path is not easy, whether in kickboxing, MMA, or boxing. All his opponents are experienced and strong fighters. He basically had no warm-up fights. Ren, as always, bowed to his opponent, then showed him the middle finger and was ready to fight. The opponent immediately went for the legs, and the fighters ended up in a clinch. Eventually, the opponent managed to take Ren down, but Ren quickly returned to standing, though he didn't leave the clinch. The second round started similarly to the first. The opponent decided to wait in the clinch. Hiramoto executed a reversal, gaining a dominant clinch position and returned to standing. As soon as Ren got going standing, the opponent executed a quick takedown. The third round started with a powerful takedown from the opponent. Yutaka tried another takedown, but Ren quickly blocked it and went on counterattack. Near the fight's end, Hiramoto landed a 1-2 combination, which ended the bout. Obviously, the opponent avoided fighting by using grappling just to control, resulting in Ren's loss. After the loss, Hiramoto quickly returned to the ring against YA Man, an experienced kickboxer and undefeated MMA fighter at the time. His opponent opened with a fast attack, but Ren calmly slipped out of danger. Hiramoto lands a precise 1-2 combo and punishes the opponent in the clinch. Then he smartly pushes him against the ropes and gets the takedown. Solid progress in his offensive grappling. The opponent tries to pressure Hiramoto but eats counter after counter. Toward the end of the round, both fighters exchange, but Ren lands the cleaner, heavier shots. Ren opens the second round with a blitz and gets another takedown. Hiramoto unloads a machine gun flurry on his opponent. Clean straight and angle off from Ren. Another 1-2 from Hiramoto, followed by a takedown. His ability to mix striking and wrestling has improved significantly. The desperate opponent tries to brawl, but Ren counters everything with ease. Ren lands another solid takedown toward the end of the round. The third round starts with a knee to the body and a straight off the angle from Hiramoto. Ren counters Ye-Man's combo with a takedown. Heavy shots from Hiramoto. That's how the third round ended. It's not hard to guess that Ren Hiramoto scored a confident win and showed clear progress in grappling. But now the biggest challenge of his MMA career was ahead. In past interviews, Ren had repeatedly made harsh comments about the Asakura brothers. Kai Asakura is now fighting in the UFC, while his brother Mikuru remains in Rizin. However, there's a long-standing narrative in Japanese media about the Asakura era in MMA, with both brothers dominating in different weight classes and organizations. This annoyed Ren, who challenged Mikuru Asakura directly. On July 28, 2024, Ren Hiramoto faced Mikuru Asakura for the Rizin Last Man Standing title, something like the UFC's BMF belt. A wild war was expected, and fans were eager to watch the fight. Hiramoto upgraded his signature pre-fight gesture by not just flipping off his opponent, but walking right up into his face while doing it. Both fighters start cautiously, throwing almost nothing, aware of each other's power. At some point, Ren got tired of waiting and being careful. He pushed the pace, forcing action and aiming to end this grudge match quickly. That's how Ren Hiramoto won the Last Man Standing title and closed out 2024 on a high note. In 2025, he didn't fight, but said on Instagram that he's aiming to return in 2026 with at least 3 fights, all won by knockout. Maybe Ren's MMA record isn't the most impressive, but to be fair, a couple of decisions were controversial. Plus, he was thrown in against high-level opponents early on, and lack of experience played a role in his losses. Still, you can't deny his talent, excitement, and ability to entertain. If you're watching a Ren Hiramoto fight, you're guaranteed fireworks, wild exchanges, and brutal knockouts. That's why, despite his record, he remains one of the biggest martial arts stars in Asia. UFC superstars like Conor McGregor and Sean O'Malley even visited Japan to meet him and collaborate on cross-promotional content. What do you think of Ren Hiramoto? Do you think he could make a name for himself in the UFC? At the very least, his striking skills are on par with any UFC fighter, and his looks and personality could attract a whole new wave of MMA fans.